Deion Sanders worried about Shedeur Sanders Brown's future moments after cancer surgery. He didn't want them to know. Not then. Not when it all counted. The night before, Deion Sanders had the most life-altering surgery of his life. His two sons had their eyes set on the NFL, performing yard dashes and training for drills, not knowing their own father had been preparing for a life-or-death fight. Now, a few weeks later, as Deion heals off the field, the discomfort he is wrestling with isn't just physical, and it has everything to do with one son in particular. Is this the year Bryce Young leads Panthers out of slump? Just minutes. After surgery, still stitched up and sore, Deion Sanders didn't call for a nurse. He picked up his phone and called Browns QB, Shedeur Sanders, his son. "Give God the glory for us," Deion told Shedeur Sanders in a clip from the YouTube video named For Your Glory Part 2 from Well Off Media. "You give him the glory. He's going to keep elevating you. You got a lot of people riding on you. God is using you. They weren't just giving me a spiritual pep talk. It was a glimpse into Deion's greatest fear, that Shedeur, his youngest football-playing son, is stepping into a league that won't wait for him to figure it out. And it's not only fatherly nerves. Shedeur might be the star quarterback among Colorado's elite, but the NFL isn't a done deal. Shedeur Sanders led the team last season with 4,134 passing yards and 37 touchdowns. But that success came at a price. He took 42 sacks, the most in the FBS. Let's roll back to the year before that. In 2023, over 11 games, he set Colorado's single-season records with 3,230 passing yards and 69.3% completion rate. His 27 passing touchdowns ranked second most in program history. That year, he was sacked a staggering 52 times. Again, the most in the FBS. That stat sheet alone probably keeps Coach Prime up at night. If that is constantly dropping, how are the odds of winning affected? And what's it going to be like when Shedeur does take the field in the NFL? No wonder Shedeur told his dad, Deion Sanders, not to visit him during training. "I'm not where I want to be. Let me get where I need to be," he told his father, who shared it in an interview with Michael Irvin. He's grinding for something bigger, and he wants to get there on his own terms. Now, as for 2025, things only got trendier. As per Angela Meal on SI, on day 4 of training camp, Sanders went 8 for 11 with 3 touchdowns and 0 picks, outperforming even Dylan Gabriel and veteran Joe Flacco in team drills. Angela continued that Shedeur followed that up on day 5 with a perfect 9-for-9 showing and 2 more touchdowns. Cumulatively through those drills, his stat line sat at 29 completions on 40 attempts, 5 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions, giving him the best TD to INT ratio in the camp. The relationship between Deion Sanders and his son Shedeur has never just been about wins. It's been about work ethic, identity, and purpose. So, when Deion picked up the phone after surgery, it wasn't to update Shedeur on his condition. It was to remind him of his responsibility. Deion intentionally kept coaching, even while confined to a hospital bed. As Ari Meirov's post on X, Deion said in an interview, "My sons to this day don't know what's transpired, wanted them to really focus on making the team. It's tough love, classic Prime, but it's clear he's just as worried about his son's emotional readiness as he is his physical one." So, though Deion is imploring Shedeur to glorify God, he's quietly praying that the NFL doesn't devour his son too soon. But here's where things get even deeper, because as Deion fights for his son's future, he's also fighting for his own life. and using that battle to teach millions. From Deion Sanders' own journey in cancer to urging others to get checked behind, the scenes of Deion Sanders' words to Shedeur is a far bigger story, one that began with a diagnosis no one saw coming and a decision that nearly cost him everything. Earlier this year, Deion revealed he was battling bladder cancer, something he initially tried to keep private. Coach Prime admitted writing a will before surgery, saying he had accepted the possibility he might not survive. But even then, Deion didn't stop working. He was texting players, reviewing practice film, and staying plugged into his son's development, even while in a hospital gown. That's not stubbornness, it's legacy management. More recently, Deion Sanders has turned his attention to the public. He became a vocal advocate for early detection of bladder cancer, especially among black men. "We gotta remove the stigma," he said in a news conference. As reported by CBS News, people think it's an old man's cancer, but it's not. It's hitting younger men. And if you wait, it might be too late. He also said in the news conference that one of the reasons he went public was because people trust me. He now uses that trust to tell fans, athletes, and fathers to get checked. No one should wait for the pain. So yes, Coach Prime made that call to Shedeur just minutes after waking up from surgery. But that moment wasn't about plays or pressure. It was about purpose. He is a father who came one click away from dying. He is calling his son, who is trying to live up to the legacy, on the field or in the fight of his life, and yours, Deion. Sanders delivers the same message. Trust God, stay ready, and don't waste the time you've been given.